No problem for LA. A playoff best 43 from Anthony Davis for LeBron. How about a line of 36, 10, and 10? And while the Blazers gave it all they had, it wasn't close to enough. Not when the Lakers are playing like this. Their first playoff series win since 2012. All right, Nick, what impressed you most about the Lakers in this game?
Well, I mean, Broussard, it's not often that you see upsets of this caliber in the playoffs, much less in 5. I mean, you had the Lakers, who we all know that were a totally different team after the stoppage, and you saw it in the seeding games, just couldn't shoot. LeBron got old. Anthony Davis, is he even going to sign an extension? And the Blazers were healthy. And let me remind everyone, the healthy Blazers, that's a 3 or a 4 seed. The healthy Blazers, that's the best 8 seed in the history of the NBA playoffs. The healthy Blazers are LeBron's worst nightmare. And to quote Kevin Wildes, they are the first team on the, I think he called it the path of destruction or something, where it was like, this could be your life, LeBron. They could be Blazers and then Rockets and then Clippers. The gauntlet of death. And so to see the Lakers, Broussard, after losing game 1, whoop the Blazers in games 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't know who in the world could have possibly predicted that. Except, of course, me, who predicted it from the very beginning and never strayed. So, I mean, I just think the Lakers, Broussard, I don't know if this quite matches LeBron's 3-1 comeback over the 73-win Warriors, but it's got to be neck and neck for level of upsets and shocks to see LeBron James' team. So I'm really impressed by that they were able to do it.
I think Nick is mistaking me for Charles Barkley, but look, I picked him in.
Or Acho or Cowherd or any of those guys.
I think it may have gone sick. But look, Nick sat here less than 10 minutes ago and chastised the Clippers for being in a tight game in the fourth quarter with the Dallas Mavericks, who had their best.
That's right.
And yet he glosses over the fact that the Lakers are tied with Portland with midway through the fourth quarter, and Damian Lillard is with his son. That was a beautiful photo he sent out, too, with his son outside of the bubble. So I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I just chuckle at how Nick...
Just real quick, Broussard, I'll let you finish. Real quick, Broussard, I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. I'll make a wager with you real quick before you finish. I will bet you $10,000 to $1 the Lakers are not tied with the Blazers at any point of Game 6, like the Clippers were. 10,000 to 1 that at any point of Game 6 they're not tied because they're dumb. No, right, because there's not going to be a Game 6 because they beat them in 5. That's all. But I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. Sorry.
Don't let him take you there, Broussard.
Yes, I'm not going to let him get me in the weeds. I'm not going to let him. Look, I will say this, and I think Nick will agree with these 3 points. Here's what I liked about the Lakers. I'm not wildly impressed, as is Nick isn't either. I knew they beat the Blazers. But I like the fact that yesterday Anthony Davis was big in the fourth quarter. It was a tight game. He gives them 10 points in the last 7 minutes. Help LeBron close. He's got to do it consistently. Secondly, their free throw shooting. They hit 21 of 26 free throws, 82%. We know they're a bad foul shooting team. If they can just be somewhat close to 82% or consistent, that will be huge for them. So that was a good sign. And then Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 4 of 9 from 3 yesterday, shot 40% from 3 during the series, 48% from 3 over the last 4 games. That was great because if you look at the box score yesterday, outside of LeBron and AD, no one else really gave him anything other than KCP, but KCP was consistent over the last 4 games. So KCP, if he can keep shooting, that's another good sign. They'll need someone else outside of their stars to hit shots.
Well, Wiles, I'll let you defend your Blazers. For me, there's a few things that jumped out outside of that. Yeah, I'll let you do that. Number one, it was AD, another guy being overshadowed by all the other headlines. LeBron on the court, LeBron off the court. This guy goes for 43, helps close out that game. And he makes everything looks easy. There's another thing that was super impressive, right? Like, this is the guy that LeBron wanted. They patiently waited for AD. There was two big questions that we all had. One, will AD even come here? And two, how would they gel? And Saturday night, their chemistry was on full display. And we talk about LeBron James all the time, like how smart he is. Oh, he's borderline genius when it comes to basketball. He has the brain like Kobe and Stockton and Magic. But, like, when do we see that? Like, what does that mean? I heard you for years, Chris, talk about this with other guys, covering basketball and covering the Lakers and covering the Heat and all the other teams LeBron played for. But tonight, Saturday, we saw it. This reminded me of Stockton and Malone, pick and roll, spacing, timing, patience, pace. Like, this guy was able to work with AD in a way that we don't see often in basketball, because now it's all about the three. These guys can do everything. They can play defense. They can play on the perimeter. They can play in the paint. They're using old school pick and roll to beat guys. And that starts with LeBron James and his genius. This play that's coming up here, like, to the average person, basketball watcher like me, it's like, oh, that's just LeBron James, taking advantage of a breakdown in defense. But when you look at it closely and you see McGee come over and pick and LeBron stop, wait for the timing and the spacing, you're like, wow, like, they really drew this up. This is basketball genius at its best right here, Chris.
Well, that didn't look like Stockton and Malone. It looked like Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks. That's the old school play there. And I know the seal screens. I'm sorry. I know that seal screen has a name for it, so all of a sudden it's a clean play. But that is eventually going to be determined to be a moving screen. The league's going to look at it eventually. Let's put that in your prediction, fishbowl from Kevin Wildes. I'm just saying, you guys know that's an illegal play.
Oh,
right,
hey, wait, America!
Of the Blazers.
I'm sorry, Wildes, America! Wildes finally made a Lakers-Blazers prediction. It wasn't about who's going to win the series because he's too cowardly to go with his Blazers. Instead, it was about a rule change coming in 2027. Put it in your bet book, America. Go ahead, Wildes.
No, I did not. Broussard, back me up. Jenna, back me up. I said the Blazers were dangerous. It's like swimming with the sharks is dangerous. Doesn't mean every time you jump in the water, you're going to be devoured. I'm just saying it's dangerous. It's dangerous. I didn't predict, hey, Nick, if you jump in the water, you're going to lose both legs. I'm just saying it's dangerous. Keep your eyes peeled. There's sharks in the water. That's all I'm saying about the Blazers.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Didn't see many sharks.
Yeah, they weren't even dangerous.
Sweep them.
Yeah.
They were dangerous.
They were dangerous for a game.
They were cute.
Broussard, you like the
were dangerous
Blazers.
for a
You
game.
like the Blazers. We were like Blazer buddies, you and I.
Blazer buddies.
They were cute. They were nice. They were nice for the bubble regular season. They ain't put on a show, but that's all they were.
And then it's
you want me to talk about the Blazers or the Blazers? I could go either way. I'm going to talk about the Blazers. I'm going to throw it back to Broussard. I'm not. Now you guys got me all frazzled. I would throw it back to
and who are the Blazers that show up next year now?
Broussard and I share a brain here. We're still Blazer buddies. Broussard.
I don't know if Broussard
Brett Brown got fired. The Sixers got eliminated.
Listen,
Brett Brown gets fired. Like, of course, Brett Brown's going to go blow up the team. The Blazers, they don't got it. This is not a championship team. If we know the Warriors are going to be there next year, we know the Suns are ascending. Maybe the Thunder drop down, but the West is going to be tough. And I don't know if they're a Collins sprained ankle or Trevor Ariza away from really competing. I'm a rental car Blazers fan. I returned it. So, Broussard, what do you want to do to the Blazers next year?
It was the biggest story in the bubble. Was Dame and the Blazers and Carmelo Anthony. He's back. He hit a game winner. And now all of a sudden, Dame has a dislocated finger. And now all of us forget that they actually had the best restart of anybody in the NBA. Of course, they're going to be blown out and